Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
It's a house!
Did you hear what I said? 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? You know, that's just one step above stupid.
I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, my audio thing isn't working, my sound effects, but who cares? Who cares? Hold on a second, I gotta fix something. Alright, there we go. The Gray Zone! Hey, it's Halloween, you know? It's kinda... Anyway. Happy Halloween. I'm not really sure how that's a word or a phrase. Happy Halloween. It's kind of a creepy day. You know, so there's some... Wish TV already has their morning blog out, so we'll go over that. And then there's also some information that a reporter put out there that is pretty amazing as well. All right, so let's take a look at the Wish TV's blog right here. Here we go. Here we go. I sound happy? Yeah. Let's see. I'm always happy, you know. I have such supportive fan, you know, freaks or whatever you want to call them, fans, freaks. I don't like the word fans when people say, "Hey, Gray, I'm a fan." You know, it's like, I don't know. I just do a show and we're all just kind of here, you know. Yeah. You are not what? Well, I'm always happy, yeah. Let's see. Maybe you're happy it's Halloween. Maybe. I'm happy at moments of every day. Let's put it that way. But then there's moments when I show up here and you got people like Daphne and everybody. Always puts me in a different mood. Like just now, you know. Here we go. Day 12 in the trial of Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen begins Thursday morning at the Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi. Anyway, that was a long time ago. This is where today is, right here. At 8:58 a.m., Allen is standing in the courtroom and appears to be praying as court is set to begin. At 9:01, Judge Gold enters the courtroom and court is back in session without the jury present. So there's no jury. The state moves to admit an exhibit that the defense objects to, saying that they never seen it before. Oh boy. Gold does not admit that exhibit, so maybe she'll decide on it later. I don't know. The state moves to admit photos of Allen from his phone, arguing that they would like the jury to be able to see what Allen looked like before his arrest. Bingo. That's exactly what I keep showing everybody, is he looks exactly the same. He's stocky. You know, it looks the same as a bridge guy, stocky and everything. And then, weirdly, the defense wants the dates on the photos removed. What the hell are you talking about? What are you trying to... I mean, you guys are so unethical. It's unbelievable. Judge Gould says the defense can review and the matter will be revisited after lunch. So they'll have another meeting without the jury present. Prosecutor Nick McClellan tells the judge they are planning to admit 7 Department of Corrections phone calls to Allen's wife and mother. The defense objects because they say the prosecution is not offering... And by the way, Wish TV leaves out a whole bunch of information and context when they do these, so you don't really know exactly what was said, so you kind of have to go look at the court reporting, etc. And by the way, if you guys can help support the channel, this is the last day of the month here. We're doing our donation night later, but all of it is part of the same thing, so even though this is an earlier show, I'd appreciate it. Maybe consider becoming a channel member. He tells the judge that they are planning to admit 7 Department of Correction phone calls to Allen's wife. Defense objects because they say the prosecution is not offering one of the phone calls in the time where Allen says he is innocent and describes being mentally tortured and killed in the Westfield Correctional Unit. Right, I'm sure you probably had him say stuff like that. How much you want to bet that he didn't say that? I mean, I don't know, it's possible, but I likely he didn't say that before his first confession. Defense attorney Brad Rosie says that what the state is omitting is an attempt to represent facts to the jury. McClelland says the calls are complete on their own. The defense claims the state is violating Allen's rights. Rosie gives Gohl a transcript of the omitted call, references certain times in the transcript where Allen mentions the conditions at Westville and says he is innocent. Rosie claims the overall calls are one continuous communication. No, they're not. Nice try, though. Rosie gives Gohl 2 more transcripts and says, you play them all, or you play none, he said. You play them all or you play none, Rosie said. Gohl admits the calls over the defense's objection and says the defense can play the omitted call if they so choose, and their argument would be more valid. I want to know the date of that call. Hey, thanks, CR, for gifting a membership to Let It Be 77. Yorkshire T said, you bastard. Rosie says the case law doesn't agree with what Gohl is saying. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin argues that in the calls the state want to present, the calls they want to omit are referenced, and that would be confusing to the jury. Defense attorney Jennifer Auger references another exhibit, which is Allen's Google search history. Gohl says that will be handled later again after lunch. So this after lunch, sort of away from the jury, is going to be really important stuff in there. Well, thank you, Joe Quinn. Yeah, that people think it's biased because it's pro Richard Allen, but I mean pro, like he did it, right? I mean, but the thing is I just, I'm sorry, guys. I don't see anything different. That's just the way it is. I mean, the timeline, my 3D animation of the timeline, absolutely, if the jury could see it in a visual form like that, there is no out. Richard Allen is the bridge guy. There is no out for him. Now, if you want to argue that, he's just the one that kidnapped them and it led to their deaths, well, go ahead. I mean, that's fine, but he's still responsible for the murders, okay? That's it. The only evidence at the crime scene, however, is from Richard Allen, and it came from his Sig Sauer P226, a bullet left on the ground there. Yeah. All right, so then defense attorney Jennifer Auger references another exhibit about the Google search history. Gohl says they will be handled at lunch. Then 9:28, the jury finally comes in. Gohl says the jury again had supervised contact with their phones at 9:30 a.m. The state called Indiana State Police Master Trooper Brian Harshman. Harshman tells the jury he has been with the ISP for 30 years. He says he became involved in the Delphi investigation. Second, I gotta respond. Dr. Colin Fitzpatrick might come on here. on Friday, maybe. Hey, thank you very much, Kelly Silva. Happy Halloween. And thanks, Choo Choo. Harshman tells the jury he became the phone guy, meaning that he monitored Alan's communication from inside custody to the outside world. So this person named Harshman, he was just he basically went over every single one of his calls, and I think he was monitoring them sort of live almost, like as it was going on. He became the phone guy, meaning he monitored Alan's communications from inside custody to the outside world. He says he monitored calls, video chats, and text. He says he has listened and re-listened to 700 hours of Alan's calls. Harshman tells the jury that Alan either calls his wife or his mother. Harshman says that, yes, Alan makes incriminating statements. The prosecution references a call on November 11th, 2022, that Alan made to his wife, Kathy. Alan tells, so that's right after the homicides. Right? I mean, this is right after, not after the homicide, but after he was arrested for the homicide. Because he's arrested in October. Hey, wow, thanks. Charlotte Denny gifted 5 memberships. Welcome, Ro G, Karen McCann, Daisy, Bonnie E. Some of them were probably like, I didn't want to be a member. I just wanted to quietly watch in the background, you bastard. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. The prosecution plays a call from November 14th, 2022. This is like 3 weeks after he was arrested. That Alan made to Kathy. Not even 3 weeks. Well, let's see. Yeah, a little less than like 2.5 weeks. Alan says on the call, I don't want to upset you anymore. Tell the investigators to come get me. I will tell them whatever they want me to. So that's sort of like, that's not a helpful statement there. Like, okay, God, whatever. I'll just tell them whatever. It doesn't even necessarily have to be true, is what he's saying. Kathy says in the call, I wish I could hug you. And then during the calls, Alan is crying loudly. He says, I'm sorry. I know what you told me. I wonder if he's saying, I know what I told you. Or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what he's saying. Why would he say, I'm sorry. I know what you told me. I believe you. You take care of yourself, okay? They make mistakes in this one, so I don't know for sure if that's what was said. Kathy says, you get the help you need. Alan responds, I'm sorry, baby. I wish I could see you, babe. You don't know what I would give to see you one last time. I'll see you in the next life. You take care of the family for me. The prosecution plays another call from April 2nd, 2023, from Alan to his mother, Janice. Harshman says this call is about Alan saying he has found Jesus. Janice says, it's good to hear from you. Alan says he's been trying to get a hold of Kathy, saying, Janice says they had some bad storms and tornadoes. And then Alan says they had hail at the prison. He says he asked Janice to tell Kathy he is okay and he will try to get through to her. Janice tells Alan that she started going to church. Janice tells Alan that she started going to church after a car accident in 2022. Alan tells her that is good, that he did not know she was going, Janice says. He's been sparing my life for a reason all these years. And that's what Janice says. Alan asks, did Kathy tell you that I told her the other day that I accepted the Lord Jesus, my Savior? Janice says, that's so wonderful. He tells Janice he will try to get a hold of Kathy and then he will try to sleep because he has not slept. Alan tells Janice, got a family that will always love me. He won't let this last forever. We're going to be back all together someday. It may be when we are all in heaven. He's going to work a miracle out of all of it. He already has, Kathy. Kathy sent me a Bible, I guess he said. He already has. Kathy sent me a Bible. Alan says he accepted God on March 21st, 2023. Alan says he wants Kathy to thank one of their doctors for saving his life because he suggested Kathy give him a Bible. Alan tells Janice he loves her. The prosecution plays another call from April 3rd, 2023, that Alan made to his wife. Alan says, I did it. I killed Abby and Libby. Kathy says, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, dear. Don't say that. You weren't feeling well. They messed up your meds. Kathy, see, this is why the prosecution is going down this route. The defense is going down that route. Oh, yeah, good idea, Kathy. That's amazing. Kathy asks, why would you say that? Alan responds, maybe I did. Kathy says, they are messing with your mind. Something is not right. They are screwing with you there. Don't you ever say you did it. I know you didn't. Really? Because you didn't say that when you were in the interrogation room. You said, why is the bullet there, though, Ricky? Ricky, why is the bullet there? Oh, Jesus. Alan responds, I think I did. Kathy says, they're fooling with you, trying to get you to say things. Alan asks to apologize to the families, and then Kathy says, just don't talk anymore. The prosecution plays another call from May 10th, 2023. Alan called Kathy at 5:03 a.m. Kathy says, are you there? Alan responds, I am. Kathy says, hi, honey. It's good to hear your voice. And they gonna move you? Alan says, I don't know. I think maybe I'm losing my mind, he said. Alan asked Kathy if she is okay. Kathy says, we've all lost our minds at this point. Alan asked Kathy if he can trust Brad and Andy, his attorneys. Kathy says, yes, they are our lawyers. Alan says, I think I need to tell you something. I need you to know that I did this. Kathy says, dear, there's no way. Well, there is a way. He was there. He just never told you. I mean, come on. I love you, honey. But no, you have not done anything. You are not well. Alan says again that he is losing his mind and says it feels like it's taking forever. It must suck for him. He killed somebody and he's in prison, and he is being watched because he was trying to do self-harm, and that's just the way it is. I mean, the thing is he has been evaluated. I'm just gonna. You guys know all the other testimony that's been out there. Alan says he had a dream that he needed to let Kathy go. Kathy says, "You are dreaming things again. I have to let you know I did it," Alan says. The prosecution plays a call from May 10th, 2023 at 11:13 a.m. The call is from Alan to his wife. Alan asks, I need to know if you still love me. Kathy responds, I do. Alan asks, and everybody else will as well, honey. Alan asks, and everybody else will as well, honey? Kathy says, yes. Alan says, I may have to spend the rest of my life in here. I don't understand, Kathy says. You're not well. Alan says, I am well. Yes, I am, honey. If I get the electric chair, and then Kathy says, that's not going to happen. This isn't right. They're messing you up so bad, Alan says. And then he says, I did it. I've got someone listening to me right now. That's probably his psychologist. Kathy tells him, no, you didn't. We're going to be back together, Alan tells her. I've been trying to let you go. She responds, I'll be with you. Please stop talking. Jesus. That's a pretty damning one right there, don't you think? But the defense is going to go over, look at all the mental issues he was having. But that's all going to collapse when we go over the reporting that came out as well today. Alan says she knows that I done it right? Let's see. I think I'm missing part of it here. Oh yeah. The prosecution plays a call from June 5th, 2023 between Alan and Kathy. Kathy says, get your coffee or snacks, whatever you need, babe. Alan says he hates using that money when I don't even know where it came from. Kathy says, doesn't matter. I'm sure a bunch of YouTubers put it together. Doesn't matter. It's in there. Everyone is thinking of you. Alan says, I feel like I've lost my mind. Like I'm in hell, Kathy tells him. Well, you're kind of living it right now. Alan says she knows that I done it, right? Who's she? Alan says she knows that I done it, right? Kathy says. Maybe he's referring to his daughter, I don't know. I don't want to think about that. Alan says, I'm just in a really frustrating spot right now. Nobody will talk to me. Don't feel like anybody is willing to be honest with me right now. Kathy tells Alan she is trying to get someone in there to pray with you. It seems like he was really, really trying to confess. He wanted to get it off his chest. But his wife and his attorneys, they just wouldn't let him. You know, they just wouldn't let him do it. He was trying to unburden himself, to borrow a phrase from an unpopular politician. Let's see. The prosecution plays a call from June 11, 2023 between Richard and Kathy. Alan, so let's see, that was June 11th. Alan says, I did it. Kathy, I did it. Do you still love me? Kathy says, yes, dear, but you didn't do it. Why do you say that? Why do you say it? Jeez. Yeah. Alan says, I don't want to upset you. Kathy tells him she is already upset. Alan says he feels like he's lost his mind. Kathy says, you can't call me and talk like this is okay. Hold on, it says. Kathy tells him she is already upset. The writing is really small. Let me do this one. Can I do the Control Plus? And that's better. Yeah, there we go. Alan says, I'm well. Yes, I am. If I get the electric... Where was I right here? Alan says, she knows that I done it, right? Okay, down here. Alan says, I don't want to upset you. Kathy tells him she's already upset. Alan says he feels like he's lost his mind. Kathy says, you can't call me and talk like this, okay? Alan says, I'm so sorry, baby. Because they've already talked. Hey, whenever you talk, it's being recorded. You know, you can't call me and talk like this. Kathy tells him she cannot talk to him right now. Alan says, I didn't want to do this, honey. I'm so sorry. You aren't going to do anything to yourself. Okay? Probably going to have to take his own life. Kathy says, stop. You can't call me and talk like this. Alan says, why are you so mad at me? She responds, I'm not mad. I'm upset. Alan says, can't tell you what's been going through my mind. Feel like I'm already in hell. Yeah, because he's, killed Abby and Libby. I don't understand what's going on, Kathy says. Neither do I. Alan says, I guess I'm just going to have to stop calling. I'm sorry, Kathy says. You can't call and talk like this. At this point, Harshman describes Alan's demeanor as subdued and that he believed he was not under stress. The prosecution moves ahead of August of 2024. He shows the jury a report from Dr. Monica Walla, the psychologist that worked with Alan. In the report, Alan described what he did on the day of the murders. In the report, Alan said he went to his parents' home, didn't go to lunch with them. He bought a six-pack of beer, drank 3 of them, and went to the trails. He said he saw the girls and did something to his gun and a bullet fell out. He told them down the hill. Alan said in the report that he thought the girls were older and intended to assault them. He, the R word there. I've now had to cave in because, if I want my channel to survive, since the super chats and everything have died down, I have to have ad revenue on here, and there's zero if you ever you use these words. That's why I didn't care before, because you guys are always like, ding 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 ding, help them support the channel, and I would just say all the words because it didn't matter. But now I'm forced to. Doesn't that suck? I'm not gonna ever say unalived. I can tell you that. I'll just come up with a different word. He told them down the hill. Allen said in the report that he thought the girls were older and intended to R them. He then said he saw a van and killed them. It's the way that they're recapping this isn't correct. It's not quite such small details. He then covered their bodies with sticks and left, according to the report. Hey, thank you, Whiskey Boots and Tanya M. That's right, I'm telling the truth. Harshman tells the jury that he looked up to see who lived at the residence and found who owned it. And by the way, let me turn off. I'm going to turn off the ads on this live. And then later I can go through the review process, and then I'll just let it be whatever it is. So the part that sucks is when you're doing your live stream, when it's over, they give you this little yellow triangular symbol that says little to no ads. Like you get there's nothing. And then you have to send it in and say, I can test this. And then like 8 hours later they go, oh yeah, your video was fine. Sorry about that. And yet all the views are done at that point. But it seems like if you wait until the video is over, wait about 30 minutes or so, then monetize it, you answer their questions, and it stays yellow. So I'm going to try that, at least, see how that works. Thank you, Yorkshire Tea. Yeah. So let's see. Harshman tells the jury that he looked up to see who lived at the residence and found who owned it. See, the only person that would have seen the van... Okay, let's move up. There's important stuff up here. So Harshman tells the jury that this is the first report he'd seen with details from Allen on the crime. He says the detail that stuck out was about the van. Prior to that, he had not heard about a van. The only person that would have seen a van there would have been Libby, Abby, and... Oh, didn't I say that last night, you guys? Were they listening to my show? Were they listening to my show? It says right here, the only person that would have seen that van there would have been Libby, Abby, and the person that killed them. Can I get a boom? Yeah, last night I said on the show, I said, and the amazing part about, because I know all the timing of things, I said there is nobody else, I've said many times that there's nobody else in the park when Abby and Libby are made to go down the hill. And then last night on the show I said, you know what a great line would be? I said, if they said, the only person that's alive that knows that van was driving by was the driver of the van and Richard Allen. That's it. I don't know if they heard that or not, but that's a hell of a line right there, and they threw it in there. Harshman tells the jury that he looked up to see who lived at the residence and found... That's so funny, man. I don't know if it's just coincidental, but because I think that's a logical thing to say, and yet it isn't logically said a lot often, right? Harshman tells the jury that he looked up to see who lived at the residence and found who owned it. He ran a BMV check on Brad Weber, the man who owned the property. Harshman realized that Weber owned a 2000 Ford Econoline van. The state enters the van as an exhibit. Harshman said he got reports from Weber early on in the investigation. He said that he interviewed Weber in August of 2024. Isn't that amazing? Well, I guess they didn't know about the... it seems like they would have interviewed him earlier as soon as the van was mentioned, but he said that none of the reports from the day of the murders reported that Weber drove a van, so they didn't talk about it. And that's weird too. It's like, well, where were you, sir? Yeah, I was at work. Okay, what kind of car do you know? It seems like those kind of things would have been asked, but nevertheless, he has a van. Harshman said he didn't think those reports were public. See, when Cindy hears this stuff, she's like, how can I make it so it's not true? Right, Cindy? That's what you're thinking. Harshman said he didn't think those reports were public. He tells the jury he filed a report on his interview with Weber. News 8, Kyla Russell reports... Okay, let me play this. Hold on a second. Listen to this. Okay, watch this one. Hold on. I gotta turn the audio.
Missing piece of what Richard... Court has adjourned for the lunch hour, and we finally have the missing piece of what Richard Allen said in his confessions that law enforcement says only someone who was at the crime scene would know. That information actually came to us yesterday. It was that Allen said he was interrupted when he had planned to assault the girls and then took them across the creek where he killed them. That interruption, a van belonging to Brad Weber that was on the access trail.
Yeah, so here's the beauty of all this, though. This is the amazing part about this is what she's about to say about when the discovery... Because remember last night on the show I said it's going to really matter when the van was in discovery and if Richard Allen was aware of the van when he confessed. And then I said, but it's even sort of damning even if he was aware that it was in there, because his confession is a perfect timeline. That's not what false confessions are. There's something where you see it and you go, well, yeah, that's, I guess you could say false confessions are also like you have information that you shouldn't know and you're able to put it in there, but this guy's already been arrested and he makes a perfect confession. But listen to this. This is crazy. Watch.
Around between 2:13 and 2:32 p.m. Allen made that statement to his clinical psychologist in May of 2023. That information didn't become knowledge to investigators or made public at all until August of this year. That means that when Allen received his discovery
so that wasn't made public. Listen.
In March of 2023, when he began to do what has been called quote unquote bizarre things, he didn't have that information.
Boom. Yeah. So that wasn't, there you go, Cindy. There's your answer. There's your answer, Cindy. And I think there's a reason that the defense doesn't give I'm not saying Cindy thinks that Richard Allen didn't do it, but she's always the skeptical mind. I just see what the defense is doing all the time. It's really, this one's one of those obvious cases where the defense is just going to try a bunch of tricks and everything. Sorry if mentioned, but did Weber lie about what time he got home? I mean, how would I know that? I don't think so. I mean, why would he? There's no reason for him to lie. Right. Let's see. Who are you referring to? A blank slate. Gray can't stop people from watching. Not his fault. She watched. And yeah, who cares if she watched my show? She watched Defense Diaries too. That's Bob Motta's channel. She watched some of the new channels out there. I'm just one of the channels out there. It has nothing to do with anything. In fact, I think she was pro Richard Allen. I mean, she was like trying to help him out, yet she still felt compelled to tell the truth about what was in his interviews. Yeah, you can, Richard. I've shown it 1,000 times. After we get through this part right here, I'll go over this portion again. Oh, do we have a troll up here? I'm not seeing what you guys are talking about. I didn't even know what you're responding to. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Sorry. This is what always slows the show down. You guys are mumbling about shit. I don't have anybody Hey, thanks, Sarah67. What I'm understanding, not until August 2024 they figured out who lived in the... Well, they knew who lived in the home there. They just didn't know about the van portion of the story until then. That makes total sense. They've known the entire time. They interviewed Brad Weber the night of the homicides. They even checked out his gun and everything. All right. This... All right, let me just keep listening to what she says here.
This information was presented by Dr. Walla yesterday, and then also today by Master Trooper Brian Harshman of the Indiana State Police.
All right, I'm just going to go through this right here. Harshman tells the jury that this is the first report he'd seen with details from Allen on the crime. He says the detail that stuck out was about the van. Prior to that, he had not heard about a van. The only person that would have ever seen a van there would have been Libby, Abby, and the person that killed them, exactly what I said yesterday on the show. Harshman tells the jury that he looked to see who lived at the residence and found who owned it. He ran a BMV check on Brad Weber, like we have DMV over here, but maybe that's what they said, and they wrote it wrong. You know, Department of Motor Vehicles, what does B stand for? The man who owned the property. Harshman realized that Weber owned a 2000 Ford Econoline van. The state enters a van into an exhibit. Harshman said he got reports from Weber early on in the investigation. They talked to him all the time. He said that he interviewed Weber in August of 2024. He said the one that none of the previous reports from that day of the murders reported that Weber drove a van. Harshman said he didn't think those reports were public. He tells the jury he filed a report on his interview with Weber. News 8's Kyla Russell reports that it's important to note that Dr. Wall, I think that's who we were just listening to. I don't know if that's who that was. But Dr. Wall testified Wednesday that Allen made the specific confession involving the van in May of 2023 and that Harshman interviewed Weber in August of 2024. I mean, that's just like the biggest boom you could ever imagine. Now, the defense is going to try to discredit Brad Weber and say, oh, you said this, you said that. The prosecution plays the down the hill video for Harshman. Harshman is viewing the stabilized version, yeah, they played it again, which is time-stamped February 13, 2017. Harshman received Libby's health app data from ISP Sergeant Cecil, who was the state police phone expert. Harshman tells the jury that Libby's phone stopped. I mean, this is so perfect. I said all this stuff last night on the show, okay? Harshman tells the jury that Libby's phone stopped moving at 2:32 p.m. that day. Prosecutor Nick McClellan asked how that information aligns with what he got from Weber. I mean, so look at this, you guys. If you were watching the show last night, you already heard this. This is nuts. Harshman says a van on the road between 2:27 and 2:30. He tells the jury, I said 2:25, actually 2:22 to 2:27 is what I said. He tells the jury he recognizes the voice from Allen's jail phone calls, and that the voice is the same as Bridge Guy. Wow. So not only that, he did that. At 11:10 a.m., defense attorney Brad Rosie begins his cross-examination of Harshman. Harshman says there were 14,000 tips about the crime. Many were identified as being about Bridge Guy's voice. The jury tells the judge they need a break and court is in recess. Well, it looks like they have a little bit that has come in so far. Defense attorney Brad Rosie continues his cross-examination of ISP Trooper Harshman. Harshman confirms that he read reports about Brad Weber from February of 2017 from two different agents. Rosie says that Harshman's theory doesn't take into consideration that Weber could have looked at his phone or gone to the gas station because he believes the van had to be there between 2:20 and 2:30. Look at Weber said it took 20 minutes to get home. So 2:02, he gets off of work. Give him a minute to get to the car. 2:03, 20 minutes to drive home. That's 2:23, right? And so, yeah, Rosie wants him to be somewhere else so that he's there a little after that. Oh, is it? It's not low. It might be low because I'm over here. I mean, you got to turn up your audio because I see the numbers over here. I'm loud. I mean, maybe I need to be more into the mic like that, right? I just don't want you to hear me if I burp or something. I'm sorry, just kidding. My father's alibi. Welcome. I didn't see who was complaining up there, but go ahead and block whoever that was, even if they're a member. If they're trashing me because one of the witnesses happened to watch my YouTube channel. I mean, what a joke. All right. Hey, Georgina Stoliker just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Rosie asked Harshman if Weber could have been involved in the crime. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said the defense is trying to lay down the lay it down to make Brad Weber involved because remember his bullet wasn't excluded as being extracted, and his van drives underneath there, and their theory is that the girls were put into a vehicle. Didn't I tell you guys that last night? And that's exactly what they're saying right now. Look at this clown. God dang. I mean, Rosie asked Harshman if Weber could have been involved in the crime if he is placed there at that time. Harshman says no. Rosie asks if Allen had an injection. Would that have affected his voice? Oh, shit. The prosecution objects to the question and says that it calls for speculation. See what I'm saying? Now the defense attorneys are just throwing whatever might stick at the wall. Harshman responds that he did not have any clue what medication Allen was on while he was listening to his phone calls. Harshman agrees that Allen lost privacy when in custody. Rosie asks if seeing video of Allen's cell would be helpful for context. Harshman says he doesn't believe so. Harshman says he had never been asked to monitor someone in pretrial situation like Allen before. Rosie references the May 2023 confession from Allen where he was lying in wait. Oh, interesting. I want to hear that one. I haven't heard that one. Lying in wait, huh? Anyways, that's where that ends right there. So let's go back out to the... So here's the animation again. Now that's not it. It's right here. That's Google Earth. Yeah, so we can just go, everybody's seen this, right? 12:43, the 4 girls are over at the bridge. I'm not sure why my phone numbers are up there, but they're at the bridge, and then at some point they make it over here to the bench, and that's at 126. And so they, whatever they were doing in here, I don't really know, like they're just hanging out talking, I guess. Then they make it over here by 126, but what we do know is during that entire time, between the time they got there, which would probably be like 12:20, then they make it over here by 12:43, then they're over here at 126. They never saw Bridge Guy, never saw a guy that looked anything like him. So they clear his other story also. Not only that, he said he was looking at a stock ticker, and that phone never registered on any tower anywhere during that time. Then those 3 girls, so right as they're at that bench, you see the black vehicle, the 2016 black Ford Focus, drive by the Hoosier Harvest store, matching the description of his vehicle with specific rims on it. Then it backs in to the abandoned CPS building. Then Richard Allen gets out of the vehicle, and it is Richard Allen because he said he got there at 1:30, left at 3:30, parked at an old building, and he passes, and he says he saw 3 of the 4 girls as he walked by. Then those girls eventually go across the bridge, and then underneath the bridge comes Betsy Blair, who looks up and sees the 4 girls, confirming that time. So you can just throw out the girl who said, I think I left at 2:15. Well, she was wrong, okay? It's like 1:45. Then the Betsy Blair drove up and parks her vehicle across from the Mears property. Richard Allen had just got to the bridge. It takes 11 minutes. He passes the girls over in this area at 1:35 before that. And then 11 minutes, 1:46. So he's there a minute earlier. Then a minute, 2 minutes after Betsy Blair gets out of her car, Abby and Libby's vehicle, or it's actually Kelsey's vehicle, stops, and Abby and Libby get out of it. And they're walking slower because they're just taking pictures and talking. And Betsy Blair is exercising. So she gets to the barricade, which is 111 feet from platform 1, not 50 feet like she said. It's 37 yards. That's a huge difference. Then Betsy Blair turns around, walks this direction, and then passes Abby and Libby. She remembers seeing their pictures in the paper and was absolutely positive she passed them, and it matches the time that they were dropped off by Kelsey. So it's absolutely proven that that's who they saw. That is Richard Allen at the bridge there, because it took 11 minutes to get to the bridge. The person on the bridge is wearing exactly the same clothing that Richard Allen said he was wearing, and every single one of the witnesses said the person they saw, even though their descriptions were a little different, when they saw the picture of Bridge Guy on Libby's phone, they go, yeah, that's the guy that we saw. Every one of them. And then Abby and Libby have to run into Richard Allen. But Richard Allen said he never saw them that day. And the reason he said he didn't see them is because he doesn't want to be implicated in the homicide. And then I think he stepped back a little ways like that. And now we know that the story is he followed them. And when I say laying in wait, look at this, watch this. If that's what's said, watch this. He lets them get there, and then he stands right there, and he lays in wait. Then he watches and watches. And then when he sees they're about 2/3 of the way across, he makes his move, and he's walking really fast, and he catches up to him at the end of the bridge, and then he has them, cocks the gun, has them go down the hill, and then look, there's this area right back here that at the very beginning, I always said I thought that spot was where he intended to assault them, but they tried to escape across the creek. But now it sounds like that's just where he was, he was going to assault them down in that area. And then you can see this, I'll blow it up by going to this map, and it's right here. That's this area. And this is where Brad Weber, coming home, just look at the timing here, you guys. At 2:15, it's really about 2:14 and 34 seconds is when the video ended. So you go down the hill you're down the hill at like 2:16 or 17. Maybe you're down here, 2:18 here. Then you're walking, and then maybe 6 minutes later, you're over here, so it's like 2:22 or something, right there. And then Brad Weber drives by. He gets out of work at 2:02. 20 minutes later is 2:23. He's driving by right here. Richard Allen's down below up there, sees the van. He goes, oh, shit. Van drives by, and he realizes, oh, man, I'm too close to that. Then he takes the girls across the creek. And then at 2:32, I even have it right there, Libby's phone stopped moving for good. It just absolutely is perfect timing. And it makes sense, It's unbelievable, you guys. You guys get it now? Does it make sense? How are they going to explain it? And now we know that the white van was not mentioned in any of the documents that Richard Allen was able to look at prior to him saying that. So it's something that, so like I said yesterday on the show, I said, does becoming mentally ill make you a psychic where you can see what another killer could see? Because that's what it would have to be, because he knew information that only the prosecutors knew, and that only the killer knew, and the prosecutors know after the fact. And as I said yesterday, the only person on the planet that is alive, there's two people that know that van drove by, and that is Richard Allen and the driver of the vehicle, because Abby and Libby were killed. They saw the van too. Hey, thank you, Weather Whiz. So you got it, everybody? So can somebody up there now here's the thing. I guess there's a deposition with him, and the defense is saying that things were worded differently, like he stopped and dropped off a trailer or something, or we'll just have to see how that all plays out. But yeah, he got off work at 2:02. I was just absolutely amazed when they said that. Thank you, Weather Whiz, because we had always thought that it was like 3, the rumor was out there that this was said in a confession, that it was like 3 o'clock is when he got off work, and he would be driving home at 3:30. And that sort of worked with him being scared at the crime scene and leaving and putting branches really quick and then taking off, right? It kind of made sense a little bit. But we didn't know the part about the story where he got, I thought he got interrupted while he was at the crime scene itself. But then we hear the story that he says that he took the girls down the hill and was going to assault, but then he got interrupted and then he crossed the creek. So I was just going, wait, that doesn't work. I was nervous about that. I was like, that doesn't really work if he, it just doesn't, if he's interrupted then, that's like 2:20 or something, 2:30. And then it turns out that he actually got off work verified at 2:02 and would be driving by at 2:25, and I just went, oh my God, everybody. See, I knew that was relevant when I heard it, and I would guarantee you most people who are following this had no clue what that meant. They just went, okay, yeah, here's a number, yep. To me, it was absolutely incredibly significant, and just like a lot of the stuff that we're hearing right now. But anyways, that is going to do it. I'm not going to hang out live. I think Fig Solves might be doing something. He said like noon or 1. You might want to check it out. Let's see. Chris HB54. Guilty 100%. No getting around the van. Confessions with the prosecutor. Had a map to show the jury so they could understand better. Yeah, well, I hope they do. I think it's amazing, though, that they used almost the exact line that I said on the show. Maybe that just means that I missed my calling. But I said, everybody, the only person that knows that van drove by is Richard Allen, because there wasn't another soul in that park. Yeah, and we see it all the time. I mean, every time I play the video like this is it. So these are the people that were there during this time. Those 4 girls, Richard Allen, Betsy Blair, locking him into that position, doesn't see him again this whole time she's walking. And then Richard Allen takes the girls across and down below. And at this moment, right now, there isn't a soul in this entire park. And then it just so happens that Brad Weber, however, drives by at like 2:27 or so. And boom. I mean, isn't that amazing? That's crazy. Hey, thanks, Tumbleweed. Yeah, I know, truthfully, yep. Thank you very much, Tumbleweed, wow. A double cat eye. Very cool, very cool. Well, tonight we have our donation night, so we'll mix it in. I mean, I'll do the stuff about the case, but we have the first hour, we have one last push. And then I'm going to donate thousands of dollars out of this month's income to various, I'll probably do like 2,000 or I don't know, to our Identifinder fund that we have for identifying Jane and John Does. Maybe give another 500 to the ballpark, and then maybe send 500 to, I don't know, maybe we'll do more than that. Shit, I don't know. I'm not sure where we're at currently. Well, thank you, Brenda Redmond. Appreciate it. So what are you guys feeling like right now? You guys feeling pretty good? I mean, I know the defense is going to come up and then try to poke holes in everything. And they're trying to make it seem like, things aren't really above board, like everything. And, they're pointing out these little things for the jury to be able to sort of go, yeah, I don't know if I necessarily can believe that. I don't know, man. I think once you put it all together, it gets to a point where you just can't ignore things, You can't ignore it. Richard Allen is 100% bridge guy. That's what I've been saying for a long time. That's all you got to know. And if once you believe and realize that Richard Allen is 100% the bridge guy, then everything else just falls into place. The bullet's his. He saw the white van. He's confessed many, many times. And it's game over. Okay? Except the only problem is if you took a bunch of Rick Snay's viewers and put them on that jury right this minute with the same evidence presented, it would be 12-0 acquittal because they are idiots, all right? And so that's all I can tell you is that their brains, and that's why people don't like me, because I just tell you the truth. Their brains are malfunctioned. They just, hey, you don't need to worry about who that person is. They're just a total, he got kicked out of the courtroom. He's not allowed anywhere near the trial because he's unhinged. There's something wrong with him, okay? And there has been for a very, very long time. Yeah, she's nuts, Brenda. She's always been nuts. I mean, every case, you know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think I'm sort of on an island, really, in the true crime world. It's like I'm probably the only one that on every single case I just go through the factual information, work through it, and this is what it says. Right? That's why I feel the way I feel on this one. That's insane, man. Absolutely incredible. I think the worst case scenario, given the information, would be for the prosecution will be a hung jury. There's almost no chance that there'll be an acquittal unless the foreman is one of the conspiratorial types. And then you would hope that they don't have the power to sway the mind of somebody they, think that they can convince. I think Richard Allen probably told them to dress quickly, so they put on clothes easily. I don't know. Yeah. I'm hoping to gather more people to put on the island of common sense. You guys with me? Please, people, use common sense when you go over these cases. This whole bullcrap about, he was mentally distressed, and so that's... You can tell that Richard Allen wanted to confess. And then there were days he probably said, oh, no, and I think his attorneys probably made him confess in different times over and over again during the times where he was, deemed to be crazy, right? So that, but then when he was alone, he was normal again. So they believe it was all just fake. And I totally agree with them. Everything was fine until his first confession. Then his wife called the attorney. Then after that, everything sort of went downhill. But then he kept trying to, listen, I just want to say it. Will you still love me, though? Listen, I did it. You didn't do it. And it just sucks, He wanted to confess. I think the judge actually has seen all this. And is just kind of wondering why the defense is doing this. Okay? I bet you Richard Allen even told his attorneys one time that he wanted to confess. And they said, no, you can't, man. We think we can get you off. How much you want to bet that happened? By the sheer number of times he's done that. All right, you guys. Well, I really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you this evening. Unless there's some dramatic update at some point, I'll come over and check it out. I'll come on and we'll talk about it. But thank you to CR for gifting a membership. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to do the blanket thing. Rick Snay is a unhinged individual. There's people out there that perhaps believed in him, so are believing what he's saying, and aren't dumb people except for this case. They're just being ignorant as hell, willfully ignorant. That's the term I'm going to use, all right? I think it's really sad that there is a group of people out there. There's even a channel, you guys, that after the hair was found and determined to be Kelsey's, that was in Abby's hand because she was wearing Kelsey's sweatshirt, they said, oh my God, she was there. She was at the crime scene. And they're going after her. What kind of morons do this? I mean, it's unreal, man. Kelsey lost her sister. Kelsey's a really good person. I've talked to her. I've met her. I took her to lunch. I've met her 4 times. She's just a totally normal, nice person that's just trying to, and you've got these people out there making videos, even showing up to trial with that mindset. They go to trial, then they go on and make these videos like that. I mean, how disgusting is that? What have we come to as a society to allow people to do that? And you watch it and give them a like. Thumbs up, buddy. Good stuff, man. I always thought, man, Jesus, it's just sickening. Anyways, thank you to CR for gifting a membership. Yorkshire T, Joe Quinn, Kelly Silva, Choo Choo, Charlotte Denny. Choo Choo became a new member. Then Dan H, welcome all the new members. Whiskey Boots 19, Tanya, Yorkshire T, A Blank Slate, Alley Cake, Ruben Macias, Sarah 67, My Father's Alibi, Georgina Stoliker, Weather Whiz, Chris H B9. Can you guys just come up with easier? Let's see, Chris H B954. Mindy, Tumbleweed with a double cat eye there. Thank you so much. And then Brenda Redmond, Sybil Bergeron, and Mama T. And thanks to Charlotte Denny for gifting the 5 memberships. And then also that was what Georgina Stoliker did. Gifted 5. All right. Very cool, very cool. Well, we'll see you guys a little bit later this evening. But yeah, we have our donation night, so you'll be able to see what we do as well on the back end of each month to make a difference out there in the true crime community. We have already given away $217,000 since January of 2020. And hopefully we'll be over 220 at the end of this night, tonight. We'll see how it goes. We've already done, let's see, $1,335 this month, just during the month. 835 went to the Abby and Libby ballpark. And if you listen to the trolls out there, you guys, I've made $500,000 on the Delphi case. What a load of shit these people are. They're cuckoo, lunatics, all right? I've given, I don't know, from the income from the channel, like the freaks are supporting the channel. That doesn't happen. We've given, God, I don't know, I'd say $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to that ballpark over the years. And I've covered thousands of cases over the years as well. So there you go, everybody. Don't believe all the trolls. They are absolutely full of crap, on a mission. Oh, yeah, that's right. And this is our second year of the scholarship fund. We have, we give out last year, just in case you're still here listening, 2 $3,000 scholarships. And we use bold.org, and if you have somebody that wants to apply, you just can't say that they are a freak. Like, hey, my mom's one that, it's not going to get you. As a matter of fact, we remove those. So if you want to apply, and this year it's easier because you can use video, right? You can use video. That's all the applications are this time is video, so it's a lot easier because Zozo, who is, by the way, do the prayer hands, she's still, obviously it's going to be a long time before she feels somewhat normal again. Her mom passed away unexpectedly. But Zozo and Plato, and, even Cindy J helped out at the beginning, but Plato and Zozo, I think they went through like 500 and something full-on written applications for those scholarships. And this year we're doing video, and I think there's way less, right? Plato, have you checked? There's only, I saw there was like 10 the other day. That's way easier. Those guys have so much of a better chance, but we have 3 $2,000 scholarships this time. All right. Anyway, hey, Georgina Stoliker said, I noticed your description for the channel is outdated, needs a fresh stuff. I like about the scholarship brand. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't even touched that thing in a long time. But hey, good idea, good idea. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here. And as I always say, Until next time. Make sure to make it to donation night tonight. We usually have a low turnout for that particular reason. Oh, Gray, you know. But anyways, we'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing
Richard
for quite a
Allen did
while
it.
now.
He ain't with
And
it.
during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a
He put his hand down and he shit it.
Flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie
Detector. I'm gonna get ya.
on a stretcher. If you try and play me like an old projector, crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector.
And I'm always gonna be a protector,
Fool deflector,
interceptor.
and I'm meaner than a
Wait a minute,
spell with a
vector.
vector on his
Richard Allen did it.
I'll respect ya. Just remember,
He
I'm a
ain't with it.
projector. I
He
have
put
no
a-
agenda. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, so I'll just get
We'll
right
see you
back to
guys
it.
later. And be safe out there.